crazy.
Are we live, Silent Assassin? Are we live? We are live. Welcome to the All Even Podcast. My name is Barry Grant Jr. You can catch the show right here on YouTube. We are live. You can listen to me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. That's going to be posted, after the live. I'm all over the place. Go to Instagram at All Even Podcast. X at All Even Podcast. I might get off that though, because it's a nasty place. TikTok at All Even Media. I'm blowing up on air. Silent Assassin, what's up, man?
Not that much. How are you?
It's a weird week. Came in here last week and I was bouncing off of the walls. Right? I had a lot to say. This week I'm a little bit more somber. Still got a lot to say, but I am not as turned up as I was. And gotta fix mom. But I'm good. Happy, glad to be here. Whoever's in here, welcome. How was your week?
It was good. Had some things going on, but overall.
You always got stuff going on.
Yeah.
You was mad incognito over the weekend too. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was crazy. I was like, what? Oh, she outside. She's outside. I'm not hating, but I was hating. I was like, who's out there with you? What's going on here? Okay.
Just had some fun.
There's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you protect yourself. That's all I care about. Lots to get into though, man. We ain't talking about the NFL tonight because ain't nothing going on in the NFL outside of the Bengals, to me, doing something unprecedented. That was impressive to me, but we'll discuss that, I guess. Some NBA news. Got to talk about my Lakers. I feel that there's not a team in the Western Conference that can be able to deal with the Lakers, and I'll tell you why. My early NBA Finals prediction, Ben Simmons stated that basketball is my life, and I'd like to discuss that further. The Milwaukee Bucks, I think that they're one of the biggest frauds in the NBA. The Phoenix Suns may be the worst team in the NBA, and I'll tell you why. Stephon Marbury is bringing something back. I didn't think he was going to, but hey, in this climate, I respect it. Skip Bayless and Gilbert Arenas are getting into a little back and forth. I'd like to discuss that a little bit too. Irrelevant news of the week. We have MLB news in regards to, we're going to talk about our Mets a little bit. Joey Gallo, he switches positions. So we're going to talk about if it's viable for him, if it's smart. Get into that a little bit. Said irrelevant news of the week. And then the greatest segment on the planet, if I can find one, Dummy of the Week.
Dummy, yeah.
Now, no off-pod stuff or off-sports stuff. We're just going to jump right into it. The Cincinnati Bengals did something that I didn't think that they were really thinking about doing. Because for the last few years now, we've seen that T. Higgins has been in trade talks, contract disputes. He's been franchise tagged. And we never imagined that he would be back with the Bengals. So I think shouts to the Bengals for actually staying the course, letting the process play out, right? You have these internal options that you can be able to utilize for players, right? The tag is something that teams use to be able to give themselves a little bit more time to be able to work something out contractually with the player or find another home. Players don't like to be tagged because there is no certainty in regards to outside of that year. You're getting a high AAV for that year, but players, especially in football, want security. So when I saw that Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are up at the same time. I'm like, there's no way that they're going to sign both of them at the same time. There's just, I just can't see any team deciding to go that way. Well, they decided to do it. Jamar Chase signs a record 4-year, $161 million deal with $112 million guaranteed, and T. Higgins signs a 4-year deal worth $115 million. Like, this is something that they said to themselves, like, look, we love Joe Burrow. He's our star quarterback. We want to make sure that we keep him happy. We want to make sure that we keep his weapons here. We want to make sure that they continue to be a viable option for him. Damn the defense. We don't care, right? We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure out the offensive line. We'll go ahead and go to the draft. We'll figure things out. But that's the solution. If you're going to keep your big three together, there's going to be other parts of your team that are going to lack. Hutchinson, they wanted to trade. They're not trading him anymore, so they still have a good defensive guy there. But how are they going to be able to fill out the roster? Well, like I said, it's through the draft, get younger, get cheaper, get guys that fit the system. So I'm curious to see how it works, but I'm just really, really happy to see T. Higgins, be in the place that he wanted to be. I don't think he ever wanted to leave the Bengals. I don't think that Jamar Chase ever wanted to leave the Bengals. And the fact that you have both of these guys locked in now for the next 4 years at least, it's a good thing for the Bengals. Really happy for them. Really happy for Joe Burrow because that's my guy. I just wish one day that he get traded to the Jets. But, it's not going to happen. I want him to take the Boomer Esiason route, but it's just not going to happen. Yeah, so shouts to the Bengals, man. It's really, really good for them to be able to keep their two young receivers together. Thoughts on this, Silent Assassin? Were you shocked that T. Higgins came back?
Yeah, I definitely was, especially because you have a superstar in Jamar Chase, and then T. Higgins was like really, really good. So you're able to bring them both back, plus have the deal that Burrow has. Like, it's a lot of money going to just like the three guys. But like you, I love Joe Burrow. He's my favorite quarterback.
My guy, man.
To also have them, I would love to see, them win it one year. So with these three guys, obviously they're pushing to be in playoff contenders every single year with that type of money also on the book. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I'm excited for them. Yeah,
it's good, man. It's good all around, man. And listen, even if they got $6 to spend, even if they got $6 to spend for the luxury tax or whatever it is, the salary cap, who cares? It don't matter. Keep everybody happy. Keep Joe Burrow happy, and that's all that matters. Because if you ain't got Joe Burrow, you ain't got no damn franchise anyway. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Moving on. Let's get into the NBA because I am. Oh, you know what? I did miss this story. Shouts to the Boston Celtics. Shouts to them. I don't like to give the Boston Celtics any credit, but man, oh man, the Boston Celtics going for $6 billion. Owner, what's his name? Wyke Grousbeck? Wyke, whatever his name is. He bought the team in 2003 for $340 million. He just sold it for $6 billion.
Who? I didn't see who bought them.
It is Bill Chisholm, managing partner at Symphony Technology Group.
That's like like 300 million is crazy. Like crazy money, and then saying $6 billion is wild.
Like, what do you think if the Knicks ever get sold, they're going for double that, just because it's New York.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers would probably go double that. So $6 billion for the Boston Celtics, man. That's I'm curious to see what the new owners are gonna do. I mean, listen, Boston Celtics, they have the lineage. We don't have to explain, and talk about that. But man, that was interesting when I said $6 billion. God damn, the fact that people got that type of money, and you got people out here that can't rub two pennies to get together. That's just the gap in our financial standings in this country is wild. It's just wild. Now, granted, I ain't hating. If you want to go ahead and buy the Celtics, buy the Celtics. But $6 billion for a team, and it's a toy.
It's wild, like, even to, like, every business, obviously, but, like, to come up with, like, that evaluation, like, we're worth $6 billion.
Like,
It's
what makes you $6 billion?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? First off, you in Boston. You got a whole bunch, got a whole bunch of racist people out there. Like, what makes it $6 billion? I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm with you. But hey, shouts to them. $6 billion. That's a lot of money, man. A lot of money. I remember when the Clippers were for sale, and I was like, how much did Donald Sterling sell it for? A couple billion? I'm like, why would the Clippers be worth billions of dollars? They're a terrible franchise. They've always been bad. You should have been able to get that on a discount. Like, yo, I give you $400 million for this, but I bought it for $425. Well, I'll give you $4 for it because it's been depreciated over the last few years. I'm not giving you no $2 billion for the Clippers. So the fact that the Celtics went for $6, I understand. They got championships, 18, whatever it is. But man, it's a lot of money. A lot of money. Moving on. Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons to me. Peculiar talent. And the reason why I say peculiar talent is because a guy like Ben Simmons has never looked like he is like fully invested into playing basketball. He just never looked interested in hooping. Even when he was the number one pick and you had Colin Cowherd on his show like, hey, LeBron, we're good, bro. We got Ben Simmons. One of the worst sports takes in the history of the world. We're good, bro. We got Ben. Well, Ben Simmons is now on the Clippers, and you know how that goes, right? You go to the Clippers, your career goes to die. So he's there now after, being with the Sixers and that not working out, going to Brooklyn and then that damn sure not working out, and now being with the Clippers. And Ben Simmons in this article with Complex says, Ben Simmons has claimed basketball is his life despite people questioning his heart on the court. So this is a direct quote from him. Basketball is my life. I don't want to play with my life, so that's who I am. It's in the family. It's in the blood. This is what I do. It's like walking. I love it. This is just what I do. Wake up. Basketball is my thing, and I love the game. I love the opportunities it's given me in my life and my family. So, I mean, even when I step away from the game one day, I'll still be involved in some aspect, whether it's coaching, whether it's helping the youth and giving back. That's just what I'm going to do. Now, I could be critical of a guy like Ben Simmons in regards to his professional career when you see where it's gone. But I'm going to go the other way here. I think it's easy for people to look at a guy that has been the number one pick, was in a good situation, ended up having this weird mental block that kind of took his focus away from being a great player on the court, and now people are using it as a punchline, myself included at times. But at the end of the day, this is a kid that played basketball his entire life. I'm sure he started playing basketball from very young, 5, 6, 7 years old. And now he's, pushing 30, and basketball has been his entire life. He's given all of his time and his effort into being the best basketball player that he can be. Now, are there results in regards to like the fruits of his labor outside of being in the league? No, he's had some rough times. He's now, I don't even know if he's a consistent starter with the Clippers or he's a guy coming off the bench, but it's like people had such high hopes for him, and I think that's what is mind-fucking people with him, is that if he was just a regular role player to start and wasn't the number one pick, wasn't dubbed the savior, wasn't dubbed this and that and all this other stuff, I think that people would be a lot more receptive to listening to what he's saying and appreciating or just letting him be. And I think in a way, going to the Clippers and going to basketball obscurity is good for him because he doesn't necessarily have to deal with that pressure of trying to live up to some unrealistic expectations that people have set out for him. You're 6'10", you're 240 pounds, you can pass the ball, you can rebound, you can play defense. Why aren't you better than what you are? What gives? Why aren't you LeBron? Why aren't you Giannis? Why aren't you this? Like, some players are just not that. I remember this kid coming out of college, and when he was at LSU, I questioned his motor. I said, he's good, but there's something about him that doesn't make me believe that he has a high motor for basketball. He may be good at it, and I grew up playing with a lot of guys that were good at basketball, but they didn't love it. They just played because they were good at it. Shouts to my homie Ty Butchery. You know, we had that conversation years ago about when he was growing up, he was bigger and taller and stronger than everybody. And he just felt that, okay, baseball was a thing that I was supposed to do. Didn't really care about playing baseball. I just did it because I was good at it. And then people said that I couldn't make it. So I had to, that was my ammunition to prove them wrong as motivation. I used that. But once I got there, I burned out pretty quickly because I didn't care about the sport enough. He had to relearn how to love the game of baseball that he currently does now, right? So for a guy like Ben Simmons, I think he's always loved the game, but a guy like Ben Simmons never could be able to articulate that physically because some people are introverts, right? They internalize everything and they don't really absorb, or whatever word it is. They don't you don't see it on them like how you see it on somebody else. Like, some people, you see it out there, they're just smiling, they're having fun, they're enjoying the game. You can see the joy in their face, while other people, they're not like that. But that doesn't mean that they're necessarily having a bad go at it or they don't care. And that's kind of the stamp that he's had over the past couple of years, is that, yeah, he's not playing in Brooklyn. He had the back injury. And is he healthy? Does he really want to play? And it's just like, so I'm trying my best to understand his side of it. And listen, I think he has a chance to be able to repair his image. He's going to be a free agent after this year, which means that teams are all going to be asking, do we want to invest in him, whether it be in the short term or giving him a medium-sized deal, a couple of years, whatever it is, but we need to know that you're all in. And I think him doing this interview with Complex, him playing and just trying to stay under the radar, is a way for him to kind of repair his image. I don't remember Ben Simmons ever doing a sit-down interview or having something like this. And I think this is all a part of the plan in regards to, like, rejuvenating his career, right? I only got one piece of advice for him. Stop with the off-season photos about you in the lab, in the gym, because we know what happens after that. Just switch it up. Switch it up and do something completely different. How about just no pictures? We don't see no Ben Simmons sightings at the gym. We don't see none of that. Just come back, play ball wherever you're going to be, whether it's with the Clippers, whether it's with anybody else, and just keep doing what you're doing in regards to playing and living out your dream and doing what you feel you're put here to do. That's what I took from this article. So I'm gonna be a lot more reserved on this young man. Like I said, the only issues that I have with him is that he's playing for the Clippers. Moving on. Shout out to Ben Simmons. And the fact that I'm saying that, people are gonna be like, what am I drinking tonight? Silent Assassin's looking at me like, are you okay? There's something wrong with you. I'm being nice. Moving Moving on. My Lakers are in the midst of completing their 6 games in 8 nights. And if you would have told me that they would be 3-2 playing tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks, there's no Luka playing, there's no LeBron, there's no Rui Hachimura, there's no Austin Reeves, there's no Dorian Finney-Smith, there's no Vanderbilt, no one's playing. They're going to lose this game tonight. But if you told me that this team was going to be 500 at the end of this crazy back-to-back fiasco, I'd have said you were nuts, because last week I said there's no way. They're going to lose all these damn games and we're going to go back and damn playing. That's what I thought was going to happen, because I was just nervous. Right, that's what happens. When I'm nervous, I start to go negative. But then they proved to me that they are so much more than Luka. They're so much more than LeBron. They're so much more than Austin Reeves. This is a team that I do believe that when they're healthy and they're getting all of their players back at the right time to be able to be healthy is going into the playoffs. Not early in the season, not midway in the season. It's late in the season. Make sure you got all your guys ready to go, because that's when the money is made. This team has been one of the best defensive teams in the league. If somebody were to tell me that the Lakers at this point would be 3rd in defensive efficiency and like middle of the road in offensive efficiency for the season, I'd say that you're fucking nuts. That would be inverted. Especially after we got Luka, it would be inverted. They'd be the top 3 offensive team, maybe a middle of the road or bottom half of the league in regards to defensive ratings. It's the reverse. This team has a defensive identity. They play hard. They rebound pretty well. They help defense pretty well. They play help defense really well. They close out great. They communicate well on the back end. Jackson Hayes has been a godsend for this team. Everybody thought that when Anthony Davis went down, that this team was just gonna go into the shitter. We can't have Jackson Hayes starting. It's terrible. Well, no. Man's earning his money, and I want him back next year. Sign him back. We don't care about no damn Anthony Davis. Sign his back, sign Jackson Hayes back, and get this team rolling. Because what I'm seeing right now, this team might be good enough to win it all. Matchups matter. And whoever they match up with in the first round matters, yes. But if they get the right matchups, Luka and LeBron can stay healthy, and Austin Reeves can continue to do what he's doing. And that bad man Jackson Hayes is doing what he's doing in the middle. And you got my man Vando doing what he does, and Dorian Finney-Smith, and Gabe Vincent, and all of these guys, Jordan Goodwin, all of these guys, if they're all playing the way they need to play, I can see the Lakers hanging banner number 18. So I'm going out on a limb. This is going to be a part of my NBA Finals prediction. And here it is. You can book it, Silent Assassin. You can be able to go hold me to it. I don't care. Lakers, Celtics. We are finally going to get the matchup that we've been craving for since 2009. I want to see it. I want to see it. Actually, not 2009. It's 2010. Yeah, 2010. That's what I want to see. Lakers, Celtics. I want to see Jason Tatum versus Luka Doncic. LeBron James against Jaylen Brown. And whoever, Derek White. Derek White's a bad man. Pritchard. Those Celtics, boy, they don't joke. But I tell you right now, you give me LeBron and Luka, I like my damn chances. I do. That's my finals prediction. Damn no Cleveland Cavaliers. Don't nobody want to see the Cavs. Nobody wants to see no boring ass Cavs in the finals. Nobody want to see that. That's like seeing the damn Atlanta Braves in the World Series. Ain't nobody gonna watch that crap. That's like the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks a couple of years ago. Nobody watched that World Series. No one. Everybody was like, who was in the World Series? Who won? The Rangers did? Did they? I still don't even believe they won. I haven't seen I haven't seen a ring. I haven't seen it. It didn't happen. Right? So that's all I'm saying. Cleveland, you're good. had a good season. I understand that. People love Donovan Mitchell. People love Garland. You love all these guys. Great. Nobody cares. No one cares. People like Charles Barkley talk about, we're not talking enough about the Cavs. There's a reason why. There's a reason why we don't talk about them. It's Cleveland. What is in Cleveland? You ever been to Cleveland?
No, don't plan on it.
Would you ever go to Cleveland?
No.
There's no reason to.
No.
You don't vacation in Cleveland. You don't go there for that. It's terrible. So, if they get there, cool. But my prediction is I want Lakers and Celtics because I think that the Celtics they're playing well at the right time. I think they've won like 3 in a row. The Cavs have lost like 3 in a row. They're trending in the right direction. They're clicking on all cylinders. Pritchard, like I discussed before, is killing. Jason Tatum is putting together a good, very MVP caliber season. Well coached. They know exactly what they're doing. So, yeah, I can see that collision course happening because Denver ain't messing with us in the West. And OKC ain't messing with us. Just like Shannon Sharp said, OKC, KFC, UFC, it don't matter. Lakers in 5. That's it. And if I'm going to say what we're going to do in the finals, I'd say Lakers in 6. Lakers in 6 in the finals. Lakers become the NBA champions, and we shock the world again. Shock the world again. That's my prediction. It might sound biased. I don't care. But how they're playing is giving me that notion. How they're playing is giving me that feeling of this is a team that's very, very serious. That's all I'm saying. Moving on. The Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know if I want to call them frauds, but I'm going to call them frauds. I am. Because here's the thing. When you have Giannis and Dame on the same team, you would think that they have a balance in regards to how they're doing things. And to me, sometimes they just look like they're constantly in disarray. And why is that? Well, we can put the blame on Doc Rivers if we want to. That's always easy to put the blame on Doc Rivers. It's rubbish. But there's something else that's going on here. And it's more about the players. It's more about this roster. It's more about how they fit or how they don't fit. Giannis, as good as he's having probably one of his best years of his career. But it doesn't seem like it's enough because this team doesn't have enough. They don't have the firepower that they used to. They're not as good as they used to be. And that's a testament to them not having the players that they used to have. So let's go ahead and I just want to go ahead and just see the stats that they actually have on their team here. Let's go ahead and just go look at the Milwaukee Bucks. I want to go dissect their team right now. Bucks stats. All right, let's see what we got. So you got Giannis doing his thing. Dame is doing his thing. Kyle Kuzma, he's been with the team for 19 games. And what is Kyle Kuzma doing since he's been on the Milwaukee Bucks? Let's go ahead and check that. 13.7 points a game. 6 rebounds. Let's see. 3-point percentages in the toilet. So Kyle Kuzma is not shooting the ball well. It's a big problem. So you got a guy like Giannis shooting 18% from 3. Dame's 3-point percentage is down this season, 37.6. Kyle Kuzma's shooting at 30%. You got Bobby Portis at 36. Chris Middleton, he's gone. So Brook Lopez 37. So they have guys that can be able to shoot a little bit, but they just don't have the firepower that they used to. They don't have the defensive identity that they used to. And when you don't have those dogs to be able to play the roles that they normally played when this team was at the pinnacle of their success, it doesn't matter how many points you're scoring. It doesn't matter how much points that you're putting up in regards to a guy like Giannis and Dame. The rest of this team is very, very mid. They're not impressive. You're not scared of Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma is a guy that can be able to fill up and score 20-plus points a game, but he's a guy that has to work for his shots. Bobby Portis, another guy who's pretty good, right? Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez is not the same guy that he used to be. He's averaging 12-4, or 12-5, shooting 40, close to 40% from three, but Brook Lopez was a lot better. He's starting to slow down. Gary Trent Jr., he's not bad, right? He's over here shooting at 41% from three, 42%. So they don't have the defensive mindset or the defensive identity that they used to have. And that's important for a team that likes to get out and run. They like to get out in transition, hit threes, let Giannis fill the lane and go do his thing. If you don't have guys that can be able to lock up and do what they have to do on the other side, then you're not going to be able to get a lot of fast break opportunities. You're not going to be able to get a lot of these free range opportunities to be able to get guys open. In a half court setting, the Milwaukee Bucks don't look great half court wise. Their sets are not that great. So if you can be able to get them in a half court setting, then you can be able to key in on them and kind of isolate them if guys are not shooting well. So they have some issues. Can they make a run in the playoffs? Depends on matchups. Like if they match up with the Knicks, they match up pretty good with the Knicks, but I still give the Knicks the edge. Do they match up with the Cleveland Cavaliers? No, they don't. I think Cleveland beats the doors off of them. Do they match up with the Celtics? Absolutely not. Do they match up with the Orlando Magic? Do they match up with the Indiana Pacers? There's a lot of teams that you can say, you have questions every time you mention another team. And if you have questions about a team like that every time you mention another team, you're not sure about how they're going to fare on the other side, then you have bigger issues. And, you had Doc Rivers, meet with his two best stars and discuss things in regards to how things are going. Says Doc Rivers reportedly meets with Giannis and Dame as Bucks continue offensive funk. Yes, they lost to Golden State with no Steph. Handle them. So a team that has Giannis and Dame on the same team should never struggle offensively to the point where they look confused and lost out there. And right now they look confused and lost. It's just the way it goes. So I'm saying that they're frauds. They've been frauds for some time, and it might just be time for Giannis to say, I think it's time for me to go. It's time for him to be able to explore and go somewhere else. The ceiling has been met in Milwaukee. He's pushing up against that door, and there's nowhere else to go. Not in this house. Not in this organization. He's done everything that he possibly can do. He's outgrown the Milwaukee Bucks. He has. And whether people want to hear that or not, or believe that or not, that's just the facts. So, moving on. I am perplexed about this next subject. And we're just flying through these things. I love it. It's a quick show. I am perplexed about this next team because when you look at them on paper, you would be like, okay, they got a Hall of Famer, they got a really good player, and they have a budding star that's been very consistent over his time being in the league. And what I'm talking about is the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns, to me, right now, are the worst team in the NBA. Like, you got teams that are record-wise worse, yes. You have teams that don't have talent. Yes, their record is bad. What makes the Phoenix Suns terrible is the fact that they do have talent. They have 3 of the best scorers in the NBA, and they suck. They can't figure it out. Why? Because you went ahead and you signed Mike Budenholzer to be a head coach. What did you think was going to happen? I remember when I used to blow the horn about Coach Bud that said that he was a guy that made no adjustments. So just think about it. He won a championship with Milwaukee, made 0 adjustments. When he was in Atlanta before that, made 0 adjustments. He now gets a second chance or a third chance in Phoenix. This team has 3 stars. I remember when they put it together, I was just like, who's playing point guard here? Who's the point guard? Who's setting up the offense? Who? Damn sure ain't Kevin Durant. It's not Bradley Beal. He don't set nothing up for nobody. It ain't Devin Booker. Devin Booker's a scorer. Who's the facilitator and the orchestrator of this offense? We think that Mike Budenholzer is going to figure it out. So when they started to struggle, when they started off the season good, and everybody's like, oh, Phoenix got it together. And then the tail off happened. We was like, oh, man, damn, what are they going to do now? You know what Coach Bud did? Nothing. Because that's what he does. Nothing. You expect a guy that's never been adept at making adjustments, never made adjustments, to see a team struggling with their 3 stars and have to adjust? It won't happen because he doesn't know what to do. So that's the first problem, right? You hired him. The second problem is the roster construction. The third problem is the owner. You had Matt Ishbia buy this team, and all of a sudden he wants to be Mikhail Prokhorov. He wants to go ahead and trade off all the assets and say, I want Kevin Durant because I played 2K yesterday and I put this team together in a video game. This is not the way the league works. You can't just trade things off and think that you're going to put this guy together, and this guy together. Automatic 50 wins. Basketball is a game of chemistry. The pieces have to be right. You have to have guys that buy into your system. Role players, guys that are willing to play defense, guys that are just willing to rebound and just do what they do. Assistant coaches that are able to get to the young talent and be able to develop those guys while the season is going on. Confidence is something big in basketball. If you feel like you can't win, you're not going to be that confident. And right now, the Phoenix Suns don't believe that they can win games. I saw Kevin Durant against my Los Angeles Lakers just have no energy. No energy, no fight. Luka was mic'd up and said, I've never been this open in my life. They're not trying. Kevin Durant is miserable. That's why he's going to be traded in the offseason. That's why I can expect Bradley Beal to be traded in the offseason. I can probably see them entertaining Devin Booker, which he might be the only one that stays because he's been there his entire career. They'll rather keep him and trade off everybody else. Here's the problem. Even if they wanted to tank Silent Assassin, even if they said, all right, let's just sit these guys. Stop playing for the rest of the season. We're going to make up some injuries and see what happens. They don't own their own draft pick until 2032. 2032 is when they own their own draft pick again. They traded off all their second round picks and their first round picks to put this bullshit team together. And it's so crazy that they have the pick swaps that they have. So not only did they give up their picks, but they gave up pick swaps, and they have pick swaps on top of pick swaps. So they so they have 2 or 3 teams that they got pick swaps with. So which means that the other teams can be able to pick which draft pick they get. They're going to get the worst out of those picks. So they have no say for the next 7 years in regards to what happens to their draft picks. You talk about being dumb. Matt Ishby is an idiot. Billionaire, smart guy, played basketball, then became this tech billionaire, right? He's an idiot when it comes to owning a team and understanding how it works. Because at the end of the day now, you have to trade Kevin Durant. And at 36 years old, your return for a Kevin Durant is not going to be that big, which means that you're not going to be able to replenish the cabinet the way you want to. Bradley Beal has a no trade clause. So if you don't trade him to a team that he wants to go to, he's not going anywhere. And even if he decides to go somewhere, your return for him won't be much. So your 2 superstars that you traded the cabinet for, you can't replace that. Because what you're going to get in return to ship them out is going to be pennies on the dollar. So the poor Phoenix Sun fan base is going to have to suffer through maybe the next decade of bad basketball. All because you want to come in and say, yeah, get this guy. It's not the way it works. Figure out how the hell this team is operated. Figure out what you need, what the future looks like, what the draft picks look like, what the draft classes look like. Figure out what the actual landscape of the next 5 years looks like before you decide to blow it up. This was a team that just a few years ago was in the NBA Finals. Just a few seasons ago, we talk about 4 seasons? They were just in the NBA Finals. To be from that point to this point, it's absolutely insane. They are one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA. And the question that I have is, why is anybody shocked? I saw this coming a mile away. Who was the point guard? The first thing I asked my friend Kevin, my brother Kevin, shouts to him. And we were just sitting on the phone for like an hour laughing. Because we like, this happens in real time. Where do these stupid people come from putting these teams together? And then when there's a CBA, they cry about they ain't got no money. You damn right you ain't got no money because you spent it all on unnecessary trades and you emptied the cabinet. Thank God for the Stepien rule. Thank God for that. Because you have some owners out there that would literally trade off every single year draft picks for the next 10 years if they wanted to. The Stepien rule allows them to say, nah, Stepien was one of the worst GMs ever. We're not going to allow you to trade consecutive draft picks year. No, you're going to be able to trade off years. So 2027, 2029, 2031. That's how we're going to protect you from yourself. And even still with the Stepien rule in place, he still emptied the cabinet. He's an idiot. So I don't know what's going to happen to Phoenix, but I think that obviously they're going to have to start with unloading Kevin Durant, unloading Bradley Beal, and I just don't think that, or maybe Mike Budenholzer sticks around now because there's no expectation. But why would you want him to stick around? I'd rather go get a young coach. Go get a young coach and figure it out. Build up your organization. Get some younger minds in there. Get some innovative training staffs. Get guys that are doing things a little differently to be a lot more innovative in your organization. You were a tech genius and billionaire, all this stuff, whatever it is. Put some of that and impose it into your team. But for right now, the Phoenix Suns are one of the worst teams, if not the worst team, in my opinion, in the NBA. You don't have to have talent. In some situations, they just have a lack of talent. They don't have the horses. They don't have the pieces, so they're going to be bad. But when you have this collection of three of the best players in the NBA and you can't figure it out, somebody's not taking the sacrifice. Guys are not being, they're not buying into what Coach Bud is telling them, and I don't blame them. This is why we're here. This is a playoff. This is a team that's going to probably finish 10th or 11th and not make the playoffs because they're just not good enough and they just don't care enough either. I think they mailed it in months ago, and that's a disgrace. And it further sullies Kevin Durant's legacy to me. I've said this before, is that as great as a player he is, all right, he just eclipsed the 30,000 mark a couple of weeks ago and all that stuff. It's just like, what is his legacy? What is it? I don't know. Moving on. Skip and Gilbert Arenas. Now, I'm a big Skip fan. I've been a big Skip fan for years, man. And ever since he left FS1 to pursue his own independent media career and all that stuff, I'm not going to lie to you. It's a struggle for me to watch any of Skip's content. He's still playing the same old hits that he normally plays. LeBron. Dallas. Jordan is great. Blah, 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 blah. Well, Gilbert Arenas is one of the biggest names in independent media out there. And he was on his show, Gil's Arena, and they were discussing LeBron James's greatness, amassing 50,000 points between career and playoffs. And Gilbert Arenas said, well, guys like Skip Bayless, they don't recognize LeBron James's immense talent because it was always there. They just don't want to acknowledge it because they're so far up Jordan's ass. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. Skip goes to his show and is like, hey, Gil, I want you to pull up and, we can have a conversation. I'll come to your show if you want to come to mine. And, we can debate because, and then he goes into this diatribe about all the things that Jordan did and 6-0 in the playoffs and da-da-da. And, brings up 2011 again for LeBron James going against the Mavs. And it's just like, it's the same old tune. And then Gilbert, who's a crazy basketball savant, he said, oh, well, I'm going to find some print. And once I find some print, then I can be able to now rebut and have a conversation and crush your ass. Well, he found some print about Jordan that Jordan wanted Larry Bird on the Bulls. So Larry Bird, rumored, was supposed to get traded by Boston at some point. And Jordan is on record in print saying he would take a pay cut to have Larry join Chicago. Yet, you would have people in independent media or legacy media that will tell you, oh, Jordan would never team up with anybody because he's Jordan. He wants to play against these guys. Oh. So what does the print say? Is that Jordan saying that, yes, he would take a pay cut to play with Larry Bird? Is that what it said? Hello? Is that what it said? Because that's what it said. He said that. So when you have people out there that want to talk about the GOAT debate and they willfully omit things that happened in real time, when you're somebody who can be able to look these things up and be a historian and be an investigative reporter and find these particular things, these prints, these moments in time, these snapshots in time, it makes you question the people that are making these fucking claims. You can't be that much of a fanboy to have to want to defend your guy even when you know you're wrong. Like, that's some Fox News shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, just come with the facts and say, listen, this is why I think he's this, but you don't have to sully another guy's name to make somebody else great. And I think that's what Gilbert Arenas is really saying, is that his GOAT is Jordan as well. But that doesn't mean that he has to disrespect what we see in real time with LeBron James. I can appreciate LeBron's greatness, but I could also remember and remember with a smile in regards to what Jordan did for the league. You can't see that dynamic a lot in this GOAT debate, right? Is that it has to be one or the other. You can't say, yo, I appreciate Jordan's achievements and his accolades and the aggressive nature that he played in, the fierce competitor that he was, without having to say, oh, well, LeBron, you know, he wanted to get traded from here and he was manipulative and dude, like, it's just like, stop. Appreciate the dude for what he does. And I'm siding with Gilbert here. Don't come to somebody's platform or even be on your own platform and just spread bullshit. The same song and dance that you spread all the time, because at some point we're just going to tune you out. I don't want to have to tune out Skip Bayless. I like Skip. But for everybody that's having this debate, it's enough already. Like, I don't care. You will never hear me have this conversation on this show, because it's tedious, it's boring, and it just doesn't go anywhere. I am a big-time Kobe Bryant fan. He's my favorite player of all time. You don't see me trying to weasel and squeeze Kobe into the greatest of all time conversation. He's somewhere in my top 10, but he's not top 3, and I can be honest about that because I watched him play from the time that he was 17 years old. I know how great he is. I know what he did for the league. I know he did for my life and my basketball playing days. I get it. But we also have to be realistic in regards to what we're seeing. LeBron James is great. I don't care who is viewing him, whether you got 2 eyes, 1 eye, you got cataracts in both your eyes. You can be able to see the man is great. Why do you have to sully his name? I can literally say, well, Jordan is no Bill Russell. He ain't got 11 rings. Bill Russell got them things. I can say that. But I won't. Because at the end of the day, Bill Russell's great. Jordan's great. Magic Johnson's great. Bird is great. LeBron is great. They're all great. You want to have a GOAT, then go ahead. Put your Jordan jersey on and go sleep with it. I don't give a shit. But what does that have to do with LeBron? Why does every time LeBron have a career milestone, somebody has to bring up Jordan? How does that work? For me, that seems like insecurity. If you know that your man is the GOAT, why do you need to, every time there's a conversation that's being had and somebody's praising LeBron, well, Jordan did this. Like, shut up. Shut up. Well, if it wasn't for Ray Allen sparing LeBron James, he would have been 3-7 in the finals instead of 4-6. Well, what about Jordan getting bailed out by John Paxson? What about Jordan getting bailed out by Steve Kerr? Like, nobody talks about these things. They just disappear. That's my problem, is that if you're going to have a real conversation, let's have the real conversation, but don't be biased. And most of the time, the people that are on the Jordan side of the argument are extremely biased. Skip, Stephen A. Smith. There's many others out there that they just have this blind bias. And if you're going to have an objective conversation, you can't have a blind bias. That's all I'm saying. So that's what Gilbert is really trying to tell Skip. And I hope that he does go to that platform to have that conversation because I would love to see it. I'd love the fact that if Skip can be able to pull up there because Skip is not a very liked man around. And, that's why I like Skip because people hate him. I think that I'm going to follow that path. Probably I think people will hate me more than they like me. Which is sad, isn't it, Silence? It's sad. I don't want to be hated all the time. Well, maybe I do. I don't know. But yeah, it's just, for me, it's just like, come on, man. Like, you don't necessarily need to keep throwing dirt on LeBron James's legacy just to make yourself feel better. I don't think that that's the right thing to do. It's just my opinion. Moving on. Stephon Marbury is doing something great. He is. Stephon Marbury is doing something tremendous. He is. He is bringing back his Starbury shoes. Bringing back the Starbury sneakers I believe is next summer for like $15. That's what he's going to be selling them for. And where the economy is going with all this shit going down, listen, I'm all for it. Shouts to my man, Stephon Marbury. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is a good thing for the kids because, look, kids need to have an appreciation of what their parents do for them. When their parents go out there and spend hundreds of dollars on trying to buy them sneakers and try to give them things to be fresh in school because they don't want the kids to make fun of them and shit. Like, all of that stuff is dead now, right? The eggs are too high, right? We got tariffs on everything that's coming out of Canada. Like, we things are too high right now. Video games gonna be out the wazoo. I'm gonna end up having to pay $200 for a 2K game now, all because of Trump. You know what I'm saying? So the economy is bad. I don't like it. So because of that, the fact that you can be able to have $15 pairs of sneakers, I like that. The only problem that I got, and I love you, Steph, but we can't wear those on the court because I remember when they came out the first time. When the Starburys came out the first time, people like, yo, discount sneakers, we love it. It's going to be able to save me a lot of money. I can play ball in them. They don't look that bad. Dude showed up to the court and some Starburys, and it was like, yo, where'd you get those from? Yo, I got those at such and such. Okay, cool. Those are Starburys, right? Yeah. ISO on me. If he's guarding me, I want the ball. Because I want to cross him up to the point where those sneakers drop over his feet. That's what people was doing. They was attacking people on the court, not physically, but attacking them in an offensive scheme to see what the shoes would actually do. If they would explode, off your feet or not. So that's all I'm saying. If you're going to bring them back, make sure you bring them back and they're more respectful. That's all I'm saying. Have some tumble leather on it. You know what I'm saying? Make sure they look a little bit better. Make sure that Starbury logo ain't somewhere that's visible, right? Make it look like an Under Armour shoe. So somebody could be like, is that Under Armour? And they say, yeah. You can hide it. You can hide it. There's nothing wrong with that, right? That's like driving a Pioneer. The low brand. Don't let nobody see the Pioneer logo on your car. Don't do that. Hide it. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Like the good shoes for the kids. I love that you're giving back to the community. You're making sure that you're taking care of your people. But come on now, like make a different version of the Starburys for the court. I don't want to be laughed at. You know, it's not the fact that I can't afford other shoes, but maybe I want to go discount route, and then somebody gonna laugh at me on the court and not pick me. That's what's gonna happen. I don't want that to happen. Don't pick me with the kid that can't play. Don't pick me last just because I got a pair of Starburys on. That's nasty work. Don't do that. So yeah. Shouts to Marbury, bringing those back. They better look good because I might get a pair and see how that works. Maybe I'll just use them for workouts and not embarrass myself and say, yo, I'm not going to the gym. You know, I'm not doing no 5-on-5s. I just do regular shoot around and pair Starburys. Now it's time for my irrelevant news of the week.
You're kidding me? I mean, how do you watch them? I mean, they stink.
Every week we go ahead and see what is brewing in regards to irrelevant news. I wonder what the hell I got going on this week, Silent Assassin. See what we got. Let's see what we got, man. Oh, man, we got some stories. Yes, we do. Shouts to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan opens fourth free health clinic for uninsured families in his hometown. NBA All-Star Michael Jordan has partnered with Novant Health to open a fourth health clinic for uninsured and underinsured patients in North Carolina. The facility, located in Wilmington, is the second clinic Jordan has helped establish in the city and officially opened on February 19, 2025. That's what I'm talking about. Like, those are things that I want to hear. Like, these feel-good stories and, you know, helping give back. I think, you know, Jordan, if you listen to him speak now, he has a lot of regret in regards to how he wasn't omnipresent and he wasn't socially aware enough to be able to step in and have his voice be louder in those times, you know, when there was some social issues going on or kids were getting killed over his Jordan sneakers. Like, there's a lot of things that he wish he could have done differently, and now you start to see him being a lot more giving back a lot more, and, you know, respect to him, man. That's a really good thing. I came across that story and I just wanted to share that, so shouts to him. Harvard announces free tuition for families making under $200,000 annually. So Harvard announced that the undergraduate tuition will be free for students, for families earning under $200,000. Those making $100,000 or less will have all expenses covered, including tuition, housing, food, health insurance, and travel. That's what college should be. Like, I never understood when college became a vacation to fucking Hawaii. Like, you got to be there and you got to spend $30,000. Like, why does college need to be that expensive? If you're somebody who is trying to better yourself and get a higher education and have a great career, why do you have to be in debt like a gambler by the time you get out? What sense does that make?
Yeah, it is crazy, the price of schools now. Even, like, when I went to school, granted it was like a private school, but I went to a very small college, and you know, it wasn't cheap at all. It was like $20,000 to $30,000 a year. Like, I was lucky enough to have gotten a scholarship, so that definitely helped. But now, like, for the next 10 years, whatever my loan is, I'm stuck paying all that money. And then also, too, like, I'm on the lower end. For people that are going to Harvard and these big schools are paying, what was it, like $80,000, whatever it is, a year. And then also, too, like, if you're going for become a doctor, they make amazing salaries once they get to that point, but then they're stuck paying $100,000 in debt, which is crazy.
It's really unfair, man. This is why you see a lot more OnlyFans accounts being, you know, popping up all over the place. Yeah, people got to pay their bills. Like, I can't blame people nowadays. You got people making $100,000 a month, $1 million a month. Hey, they probably got school loans. Went to Duke. Gotta pay that. Gotta pay that $200,000 back somehow. It's crazy. Like, why do you have to be in the hole for that much going to school?
It's wild, yeah.
To school, learning math, social studies, whatever the hell else it is. Like, you're not going to be no damn astronaut. You're not learning. You're not learning a black hole physics. You're not dealing with black hole matter. You're not dealing with nuclear energy. What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah, it's all too, like, also not even tuition, but the book fees and all that stuff. Like, you're paying X amount more, just to be like, oh, this book is required. We're gonna use it one day, the whole year.
We're gonna use it for 2 weeks out of the semester. How much is this book, Dr. Lansing? Yeah, it's $1,000. Why?
Yeah, it's wild.
It's nuts. If I was a kid in school, I'd cheat. I just photocopy everything. What's the lesson that we learned? I'm gonna photocopy that page right there. That's it. I'm not buying that shit. It's crazy. So yeah, that it's about damn time they realize that people out here ain't got no damn money. And then it's crazy is that, you know, you go to school and then the banks or the loan starts to send you that notification. Hey, you know, it's paying time. And then you don't answer it, and then they want to come harass you. Oh, we want our money. And that, you know, what I would love for people to say to these people, I love somebody to answer the phone and say, you know what? I got time for you today. So let me ask you a question. You see the time that I spent in school? Yes, sir. Yeah, we saw that you just recently graduated. You see any update to my occupation? You see any update here? What the fuck you think I'm going to get that money for? When I get it, you going to get it. But if I ain't got it, don't call me.
For real.
Don't call me.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part about this country too, is that like it destroys your credit. Well, now like your student loans can't mess your credit up anymore, which is good. But back when I was going to school, they tanked your credit. Tanked it. Couldn't pay. Your credit went from a 650 to a 298. You ain't buying nothing. You can't even get a Macy's card. How they tanked your shit back in the day. It was nasty work.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Even to like the interest too, like how it's so like I have like a loan that's like 2.5 and then another one that's like 5.8. I'm like, why is
it don't make sense? Difference? It should be a universal interest rate. That's it.
It's crazy, yeah.
It's a scam. That's all it is. And people are starting to realize that. So yeah, drop the damn tuition, man, and let people go for free. That's the way it's supposed to go. If you're smart and you can't afford it, there should be a way that you can be able to still go to that damn school. Period. Moving on. Who we got here? We got... Oh, this is a great one here. Study shows allowing one lazy day per week can reduce stress and mental health issues. This is a wonderful study because I truly believe it. I am somebody who I wish I had that type of time to just wake up and not do anything. Like nothing. You're not gonna, like, all you do is brush your teeth, and I don't even need to eat. You gotta eat that day. It's fine. I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing. Because if you think about it, right? If you think about what they're saying, and they say that taking time to relax reduces stress, alleviates muscle tension, and lowers the risk of mental health challenges. Engaging in relaxing techniques such as meditation has been shown to elevate mood, decrease anxiety, and promote overall emotional balance. One increasingly popular approach is floor time. What the fuck are we, 7? Simple yet effective practice where individuals lie down and allow their bodies to relax fully. So yeah, there's a lot of studies they say that comes with this. And I agree with it, because when you're in this heightened sense of fight or flight all the time, this heightened level of stress, it's not a healthy mode to be in for your body. Your body cannot operate. I mean, your body can tolerate stress, but it's not supposed to tolerate stress on an everyday basis. You need a time to decompress. Like, play some video games, read a book, sit there and just scratch your ass. Just don't do anything. People always believe that, I gotta be doing something, because if I don't feel right if I'm not doing something. Well, sit your dumb ass down and just relax for a little bit and just enjoy life. You don't always have to do something. If you go to other countries, this is what they do all the time. Hey, what time is it? 2 o'clock? Oh, it's nap time. Yeah, I'm gonna go nap, go back to work, finish off, or maybe I just don't go back to work. Maybe I just take the rest of the day off. Why do you think when you go to other countries, they just smiling all the goddamn time? So you see him, hey, how you doing? Welcome to our country. Whoa. You got people that come here and we ain't smiling at them.
Nah.
The hell you looking at?
All the yelling.
Yeah. Get the hell away from my bag. I know I don't want to sit next to you on this train. I don't want to, because people are in this heightened sense of stress all the time.
Yeah.
You imagine what people like? Think about the people that have to commute every day in traffic, going to work and back home. You're in 3 hours of traffic every day. That is literally, so think about it. You're 3 hours of traffic every day. You're 8 hours. That is 11, I can't do math. That's 11 hours of just heightened stress. You're at work, you're stressed. You in your car, stressed. You going home back in your car, stressed.
And even like after that too, like you don't even get time to do anything because by the time you get home, you have to eat dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
And go to sleep to get ready for the next day.
Right.
So it's like, what are you even doing 5 days out of the week?
You got kids that are pulling at you. Hey, help me with my homework. You got a wife say, oh, you haven't been around lately, and I'm lonely. I'm tired, man. What you want me to do? Huh? Sit up with you and go watch the stupid ass show? I'm gonna fall asleep right here. I gotta wake up at 6 o'clock and do it all over again. So yeah, there's times where you need to just sit there and do nothing. You know? If you got a wife and she feels a little neglected, just tell her, listen, while I'm sitting here on the couch not doing anything, just walk around naked. You know? Pop a titty out. Do whatever you want to do, you know, but just let me just sit here and just decompress, because if I don't, I'm going to go crazy and I'm going to shorten my life, and we don't want to do that. We want to live fruitful lives. We want to be happy. So yes, if you can be able to take at least a day out of your week to do nothing, I promote that. I do. You know, it's just, what do you think? You think billionaires are around working all the damn time? They sit around and scratch their ass and make money. That's what they do. Oh, let me wake up at 10 o'clock. Let me go check in with the stocks and see how that's working. Let me go pick up the kids from school, or maybe I'll pay somebody else to go pick up the kids from school. Like, ain't no stress for them. So why do we have to feel like we have to do this? But it's how our society is designed. We've designed our society in the United States to be this work thing. You're not supposed to, you're supposed to work to live, in regards to like living a nice life. You're not supposed to live to work. That's a terrible balance. You work to be able to have the things that you want, but you're not supposed to be engulfed and emboldened to this damn job. It's just a job. Enjoy your life. I would prefer to just sit on my couch and play MLB The Show and have nobody speak to me for 9 hours. That's a perfect day for me. Just don't even talk to me. Don't say nothing. You can sign. Don't audibly say anything to me. Moving on. What else we got here? This one was interesting. I have a lot to say about this one. So this guy is a food critic. This guy's name is Dre in Dallas. Shouts to Dre in Dallas. He has over 140 subscribers or followers on Instagram. He reviews food. So he ended up reviewing a Rice Krispies treat ice cream sandwich. I'm gonna send this to you. It came in a like a pack of 3, and when I seen this, I was like, "Yo, right." First of all, Rice Krispies in itself, fire. Like, that was one of my favorite like snacks growing up as a kid. And then you slap ice cream in the middle of 2 of those. That's some real fat shit. But I would try it. I would, right? So I was very intrigued by the video. But yo, then the dark side of me came over. And you already know how I feel about certain things. It's like, I can't help it. When he was eating the Rice Krispies ice cream bar, he was slurping the food. And in my head, I'm like, how the fuck do you slurp ice cream like that? That's some real fat. Like, instead of you take your ass on that treadmill and try to be healthy, you over here slurping Rice Krispie treat sandwiches. That's nasty work. Mm-hmm. So Dre and Dallas, I have respect for you, man. Respect what you do, but come on now, man. That was crazy. I'm watching a grown ass man slurp this sandwich. That was very uncomfortable for me. Extremely uncomfortable. I don't like that.
Yeah, I feel like it's like, because I like to watch like food reviews
and
whatnot, so I think it's just the thing that they want to over exaggerate.
Yes.
Because I see it a lot. I'm like, people eating like chips or whatever, and they're just like making all these sounds that
you don't eat like that for real.
Don't come with eating chips or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that like always just makes me mad. Like I get like actually mad because I have that thing. Like I think it's like misophonia or something like that. Like you have a phobia of people making like too many sounds while eating, like chewing and
it's
stuff.
annoying.
Yeah, like so I get like inside like I want to like hit something. Like I don't know what it is, but that's what I feel.
All right, so if you went on a date with a guy and he had poor eating habits, would you internalize it or would you just tell him, "Yo, my man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like you need to stop."
I feel like for just like where I am, I'm very like quiet. Like the first date, I probably wouldn't. I just have to deal with it. But if it does, I had this in the past where it continued to be like.
So you actually gave son a second date after that?
Yeah, I'm
man,
like,
you're nice. You're nice. That'd be it for me.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. No. You one of those people that like eat with your mouth open and like, nah, bro. Like, no.
I don't like. I was like, growing up, like kids eat like really like disgusting
yes.
things. But then you have like your mom or dad be like, if you don't stop, like it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
So like your mom didn't tell you that growing
yeah.
up. Like, you gotta be respectful and polite.
Like an animal.
Yeah.
People hey, it's just like those. Listen. Hey, there's nothing worse to me than having an attractive woman that eats like a monster. Right? Like, how you look like that and eat like that? That's crazy. Yeah. Like, it don't correlate. So, yeah. Moving on. Let's see what the next story is. We had a bunch of them today. Oh. Yeah, this is... This is one of those stories that we always discuss where, whether it's Claw here or Six here or anybody here, and we always say, what the hell has happened to the school system where we've allowed these freaks to come in there and exploit these young men or women? It's just crazy. Like, yo, listen to the story here, right? Teacher accused of gangbang with junior high students wearing a scream mask. What are we doing? What are we doing? That's nasty work. And I had a friend, I said the thing, he was just like, yo, dude, like, where do these people come from? We had these old ass teachers that we had to deal with. These young teachers, these are, you know what? We're just moving on. We're just gonna bypass that. There's gonna be a live action Power Rangers series in the works. I'm very excited for this. Listen, I don't care if I'm approaching 40. If you're my age, Power Rangers was the shit when we was younger, right? That's all we watched back then. Green Ranger, Red. We love it. So if they can be able to have something that is even similar to what we grew up on, that's a little bit more adult, realistic, it's gonna be fly. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be fly. I think I'm going to really, really enjoy this. So, Disney, get it done. Get it done and get it done expeditiously and make sure that it's good. Make sure that you got at least the black guy and you need to have an Asian. That's just the way it goes, right? You have to have one black guy, white and black girl, as somebody Asian. That's just the way it works for Power Rangers. To keep that going. Moving on. Oh. Target reportedly lost nearly $1 billion after boycott and DEI rollbacks. Oh. You don't say. So the fact that you guys didn't want to be woke anymore, I wonder if Donald Trump is going to bail you out and give you money. I know the answer to that, but, Claw's not here. When Claw's not here, I go nuts when it comes to this stuff because I am somebody who's followed the political landscape my entire life. Since I was 6 years old, I used to watch, political shows, pundits, Dan Rather, all of these people, Brian Gumbel, all of these figures that were these great talkers and explained things. And you see all these things that are happening now and you realize that there's nothing that's different that we're seeing now. It's all a rollback. It's a rollback to a time where even your parents didn't see. Because we have a lot of people in this country that believe that people that look different than them are the enemy. And they fear them, so they have to keep things the way they used to be. Like in the 1920s and 30s. You have these DEI rollbacks. There is no DEI. Do you know that the fact that he executive ordered took this DEI stuff away, you know what he actually took out as well? He brought back segregation in bathrooms. So if somebody wants to go ahead and say that, you can't come here, this is only this, they can do that now if they wanted to. That's a lot of the people have to understand what's happening, right? When you have Jackie Robinson and he fought his ass off and he was in our military, and then you go to the website to see the historical context and he's no longer there. And then you have people outraged about why he's not there. And they put it back on because of the outrage. If nobody said anything, you think they would actually put it back? Because they do things in plain sight just to see what happens. And if you don't kick back, they'll just keep it. They'll just leave it alone. Young people need to understand what's going on. It's not people like me that are going to change the dynamic and the landscape of America. It's people like you, Silent Assassin. It's people like every young person that's growing up right now. Understand that you matter. Understand that your vote matters. Understand that be aware and be socially aware. Don't just live in the world and live oblivious and not know what the hell is going on around you. That's all I'm saying. That is my irrelevant news.
You gotta be kidding me. I mean, how do you watch that? I mean, they stink.
Mets news. We're here. Silent Assassin, what you got for me?
So starting it off, earlier this week that they had announced that Clay Holmes is our opening day starter.
Shouts to Clay. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I had a lot of people like, oh, Clay Holmes, he's terrible. Oh, he's bad closer. I said, I don't give a damn about no damn closer. You see the man can throw 100. Yeah. Put him in there.
Yeah. I was very because he was like a big like what if coming into the spring training and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I'm like very happy, very excited that he's doing as well as he's doing.
Very motivated. What I liked about him is that he came to camp early. He was like one of the first ones there.
Yeah.
Got there, got his work done, got with the staff, understood what he had to do, and continued to work and grind. And that's a guy that wants to be great. And I like that. You know what I mean? I like how it's going. And I'm excited for him, man. I think he's gonna do well this season. I think he's going to impress and shock a lot of people. I think this trend of having guys go from, obviously he was a starter at first, and then they moved into the bullpen, and now he's going back to a starter. But guys who are career bullpen guys, if they have the talent and people see it, then teams are starting to want to stretch out their reliever guys to be able to see if they can be starting pitchers in the league, because at this point, you're not looking for your starting pitcher to go 8 innings anymore. It's not the way baseball works anymore. I hate that, but all you need is guys to go 5. So if you can get a guy to go 5 and turn it over to your bullpen, then of course you can be able to make that conversion.
Yeah, it's about like half the game anyways. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited about Clay Holmes. What else you got?
So Sean Manaea is already recovering.
Tribal Chief is coming back. Love it.
So he's back in pitching.
Yeah.
I'm not sure on the timeline when he'll be back. Obviously he's not going to be ready for opening day still, but I'm definitely a quick recovery on that because we were like concerned, obviously, how long he was going to be out for.
Yeah.
So it's nice to hear that he's doing well.
Yeah. Listen, we have depth in our pitching staff. Is it high end depth? That's yet to be seen. We have to see how these guys are gonna play and pitch. But Griffin Canning has pitched well. You have even Blackburn. McGill has looked decent in spots. So we don't have to rush Manaea back. Let him take his time. Let him get his spring training work in. Let him get an extended spring training probably. Get himself up to speed. And then, I think he should be ready to go, whether it be the 2nd or 3rd week of April, and get ready to really start his season. So, we don't have to rush there because, I seen Senga look good. And this team is starting to come to form. I like what I'm seeing. So yeah, we definitely don't have to rush Manaea at all. So yeah, I'm with that.
I'm wondering like how this starts off because Holmes is right now our ace, and then when he comes back, like where he's gonna start in the rotation.
I think smartly, it might suit the Mets to put him 3rd.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, have Holmes, Senga, and Manaea. I think that's a good 1, 2, 3 because you can be able to still be you can have more balance in your pitching rotation when it comes to certain series, right? You don't have to necessarily have your best guys back to back. You can have them bookend in a 3-game series, right? You can have Clay, and then you can have Manaea pitch the final game of a 3-game set, and you have Senga in the middle. And if Senga pitches, now you're cooking with grease here. So I think that's the best way to do it. I'm curious to see how Mendoza sets it up, but that's what I would go with. Yeah.
There's like 3 potential aces.
Absolutely.
Like, so yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Yeah.
I think that would be the best way to do it. Holmes, Senga, and Manaea as the 3rd guy. What else you got for me?
And continuing kind of what you mentioned last week about Diaz's velo going down. I read like today that the other teams have been noticing it and kind of like a bit concerned for the Mets that he allegedly I didn't say what team, but he was hitting around 93 when the Mets kind of ticked a little bit higher. So coming from 98, 99, what we're used to, the 93 is a bit,
That's a 6 mile per hour difference.
Yeah.
If that's the case. Now again, we were talking off pod, and I was like, it's spring training, so it's not a super concern right now, but I am curious to know if he's having any any shoulder discomfort, any elbow discomfort. Like, where is the drop in velocity? Is it a mechanical issue where he's not planting and then he's losing some miles per hour off his fastball? Or are they trying to, maybe they're trying to come up with a different approach? I have no idea, because they're very, very mum on it right now. And if they're mum on it, that means that they're not concerned, right? That's how I can download that. But we as fans, if that's something that we're noticing or we hear now the rumblings are gonna start getting louder. Like, well, okay, well, what's going on? What's happening? Like, is he having any discomfort? Now we're watching every fucking pitch when normally who checks the gun? No one does. It's just there as something that it's just been a part of the game for as long as it has. But you're not really checking the gun for seeing how fast the guy pitches. Now we will be checking that gun for Diaz. And if he's not up there 96, 97, if he's throwing consistently 93 and 94, now that's going to get louder, and now that's going to become a distraction. And we've seen that this guy can sometimes get in his head. When he first got to New York, he struggled because he couldn't handle the bright lights of New York. He had to adjust. And once he did do that, he ended up being very successful. But this is a guy that can get in his head. And I don't want this to become a distraction for him, because Diaz's game, the way he pitches with confidence. And if he's a guy that is not confident, we even seen it last year. He blew a lot of saves last year. A lot of opportunities because he did not have the confidence early. And Mendoza started questioning him, and then he had to figure it out, and then he didn't use him for a while, shut him down, and all of these things. He has times where his confidence will wane. And if he's not seeing the miles per hour on that gun that where it's supposed to be, or where he's used to seeing it, that confidence is going to start to wane, and it's very, very concerning for me. That's the biggest thing for me. It's not about, even if he's healthy, cool, great. It's the mental aspect for Edwin Diaz that concerns me, because that's always been what's held him back, honestly.
Even earlier last year when he lost his job, he said he was crying about it. He was very emotional about doing that. But obviously too, you don't want him to overwork himself to get back to that number.
That's true too.
And harm himself.
Right.
So, we'll have to see once the season comes about. You know what I mean? It could be no issue at all, and everything could be good, but you never know. So.
Hey, listen. Yeah. Frankie ends up starting slow for the season. Frankie be batting 069 in March. He don't give a shit about the start of the season. Then he gets cooking. So we'll see. Maybe Edwin is doing that. I don't know. I'm just hoping that it's nothing other than that, because we're paying him a lot of money, and I'm just hoping that he can stay healthy. What else you got for me?
The last thing I had in my notes was something you had sent to me earlier this week, that Matt Allen is reaching some high velo numbers. So he's kind of come back from the dead after being gone for a very long time with multiple injuries. So it's good to see him come back. And
it's so crazy, Silent Assassin, that this kid is 23 years old. The man ain't pitched for us since he been here. We drafted him in 2018? The dude ain't 2018, 2019. The dude hasn't pitched more than a couple games. Yeah. And for the Mets organization to stick with this kid and keep giving him a chance to be able to rehab, and I think the reason why they did this is because the kid's stuff when he came out of high school, we're talking about electric. He was our top pitching prospect for a reason for many years. Matt Allen, can't wait. And then we were just okay, where is he? Not here, home. 2 Tommy John surgeries. Well, the kid is throwing 99 right now. Throw him in there, Mendy. Throw him into the line. I don't care who you gotta put down. Let the kid pitch. Because I'm telling you, he gives me. I've been calling for Matt Allen for how long now? I have this feeling that he has some DeGrom in him. Late boomer or late bloomer, whatever the hell they call it. He's gonna be a guy that's gonna end up having some type of success for this team because he has this demeanor. It's very businesslike. You know what I mean? I love his delivery. I love where the arm angle comes from. He has a lot of deception, and when you have deception mixed with high velo, this kid is special, and I can understand why the Mets did not want to let go of him. Like, we ain't letting somebody else cook on this. Nah. You stay here. You stay here. We'll deal with it. Hey, get him. Figure it out. Help him do whatever he gotta do. What he needs another Tommy John? Cool, we'll pay for that. We got him. Just make sure when you come back here. That's all it is. They're gonna make sure that he's good here. Now I don't know damn Braves. Can you imagine that the Braves signed Denver? Oh, how you just sign people out of the blue?
Yeah, just gonna egg everybody.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, everybody that you want, just Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, but Matt Allen, shouts to him. What else you got?
That's all I had on my list. But I was thinking, I guess, since the start of the season's coming up, I guess you're a person. I don't know if you're obviously a Mets fan, but who do you think is going to be, I guess, go order of the NL East?
Oh, so you want who's going to win the division? And who's going to finish last in order?
Yeah.
I still have concerns about the Braves. I don't think the Braves are going to win the division. I'll be honest. I think the Phillies win the division. I think the Phillies win the division. I think the Mets finish second. I think the Braves finish third. And the Marlins will be in dead last. No, Nationals, then the Marlins. But I think the Nationals are going to be much improved this year. They have young talent. They have a lot of young, good players on this team. That kid, what's his name? Woods. I want to see him. Wood, so they have a lot of guys that I'm curious to see. So I think they're going to surprise a lot of teams. So, yeah, I think that's the order. Phillies, Mets, Braves, Nationals, and Marlins. So you have all three teams at the top making the playoffs.
Yeah.
So Braves, Mets, and Phillies make the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely say it's going to be what it was last year.
Yeah.
Very close race, but there's people obviously like, oh, the Mets are third best in their division, blah, blah, blah.
That's fine. We'll make the playoffs. Yeah. At this point, I don't care about where they finish. Just get to the playoffs. Yeah. That's all I care about. Division titles are nice, but we seen the Braves in the 90s. They won about 18 billion division titles. How many World Series they got to show for it? Huh? In the 2010s, how many division titles did the Braves win? Yeah. How many World Series they got to show for it? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So for me,
you just got to get there. That's all that matters.
Just get there. Just get there. Because the way baseball is designed now, it's the team that has the pitching and who's hot. If you can get a good matchup and be able to win those matchups that are favorable to you, you can be able to have a deep run into the playoffs. That's what happened to the Mets last year. We got favorable matchups. We got to the World Series. We got to the NLCS. We lost to the better team, but they were there. So the same thing can happen this season. The same thing can happen to a lot of teams that can be able to make the right moves, stay fairly healthy throughout the season. That's very important. Throughout a long 162, you need to make sure that you're staying healthy. That's the biggest thing. And we're already going through, attrition right now with some injuries. You have some other teams that are going through injuries, and you got to make sure that you're taking those steps, giving those players time to be able to recover, having your young players develop the right way, making sure that you're pushing the right buttons in regards to your rotation and your lineup. There's so many things that goes into a regular season to make a team successful. It's not just one thing. There's a myriad of things that has to happen. So, do the Mets have the formula to be a successful team? Absolutely. But we have to see how 162 plays out. But I'm very confident that they'll be in the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't need them to win a division. I don't. I don't care about a division right now. The only reason why you want to win the division is because you get the bye.
Yeah.
That's the only reason, right? But if we get a favorable matchup in the wild card round, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, because even there's been, since the bye has come into the league, how it's actually more worked in the favor of the non-bye team.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think, what was it? The Dodgers were the only team to move forward with the bye, I believe. So since it's been the league, we'll see. I'm same with you. I'm fine whatever way as long as they're there.
Just make the playoffs, baby.
Yeah.
That's it. The one thing that I want to see with this team, and I think we're gonna see it, is that I want the Mets attendance to be top 5 this year. They were middle of the road. I think they were 17th last year or some shit like that. And attendance reflects the team that was the year before, right? So people are not gonna go in there and buy up all of these tickets when you had a down year. You're gonna see an uptick in sales when a team was successful the previous year. So the fact that the Mets went to the NLCS, you're going to see a massive increase in regards to enthusiasm and attendance at the ballpark this year. So that's what I want to see. I want Citi Field to be rocking, man. I want that place to feel like every day is a fucking party. Like, that's what I want. I want people to show up to Queens. I want people to come with their kids, come with their significant others, come with your mistress, come with your second, third baby mama. Do what you have to do. Just take your ass to the ballpark and watch the Mets kick some ass and watch Juan Soto style and profile, baby. I can't wait. Can't wait. That's all I care about. I'm gonna be there a lot.
Yeah.
Me and Jasmine were going there on the 18th, I believe, of April. I can't remember what the hell date or what game it is, but I just bought random tickets. I'm going. So yeah, we're gonna be there. I'm gonna be there a lot. I already told her. I said, "Look, honey, I love you. I love our son. He's great, but I have to go this year, and I'm not gonna be around." She's like, "That's fine. I'm sure she wants to kick. She doesn't want me here. It's fine. She can take the break." She's like, "Yes, go, please." So that's my plan, and I plan to be at City a lot more this year, like I used to be. I used to go to Met games all the time. I used to go to like 80 games a year. Well, 2015, I went to 82 games.
It's crazy. Isn't that like the whole, like all the home games basically?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's including playoffs, though, so I didn't go to all the regular season games. But so the guy, the whoever's in the ticket office, he was like, "Yeah, Mr. Grant, we see that you've been to X amount of games this year. Would you be interested in a pack?" I said, "Hell no. I don't want no damn season tickets." You know why? Because you ain't gonna lock me into something that I don't want to be locked into. I want to buy the tickets when I want to buy them.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing with season tickets. Is that like if you don't go, you pay for it.
Yeah.
Can't you want these tickets? No. So I will pay my way. I like the 20 game packages. Those are fine. But a season tickets, I need to have the money to have that. I'm like really rich to have that done. Yeah. So that's it. Moving on. Outside of Mets news, Joey Gallo, former slugger. Last team that he played for was the Washington Nationals last year. Joey Gallo was released by the White Sox, and he has decided to switch and convert to pitcher. So when I seen the news, I was like, how old is Joey Gallo? I was like, about like a year or two younger than Bryce, I believe. Bryce Harper, they're very close friends. He's 31. I said, okay. Then I was just like, you know what? At 31, his career is still young enough for him to be able to latch on to another team and help a team win in regards to being somebody's DH, being a bench bat, things of that nature. If you can carve out a role for yourself in baseball as you get older, being that type of guy. There's a lot of players that have ended up becoming like just good hands. They end up going from team to team. They sign 1-year deals. They help this guy. So there's a niche for it. There's a market for it. So I was just like, why would he want to switch? So then I got curious because I know Joey Gallo's numbers, but some things are very foggy to me. So I was just like, I remember this guy had consecutive years where he hit 40. I remember that. I also remember there was a time where he hit close to 40 for somebody else. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and go look at his numbers. So at 23 years old, he got called up. Well, he was with the Texas Rangers. 2017, he hit 41 home runs and hit 80 and had drove in 80 RBIs. He had an OPS of 869. You see the OPS, you're like, okay, it's pretty impressive. The following season, he had 40 home runs and 92 runs batted in. He had an OPS of 810, so it dropped by 59 points. They're like, okay, well, he's still a back-to-back 40 home run hitter. That's good, right? But let's go ahead and dive into the numbers, shall we? 2017, he played 145 games and had 94 hits in 145 games. That's fucking awful. He hit 41 home runs and he had a 209 batting average. The fact that his slugging percentage was over 530 is why he ended up having an OPS of over 689. He has massive power. When this guy was in the minors, he hit moonshots. Mm-hmm. He couldn't do nothing else. Mm-hmm. But this guy hit moonshots. So there was always power there. But this guy just cannot put bat to ball. And if you can't put bat to ball, you're not going to be that productive. Then we go ahead and see 2019. He was an all-star. 22 home runs, 49 RBIs, had a 253 batting average, 389 on base, 598 slug. So he had a 986 OPS. You're like, oh, well, that's pretty impressive. It would be impressive if you played a whole season. The man played 70 games. So the fact that he played 70 games is why his averages looked like that. Now let's go to his last year that he was actually really, really good. 38 and 77 were the numbers. That was in 2021. Played 153 games and had an OPS of 808. Struck out 230 times. That's a career high. Walked 111 times. That's also a career high. But what's the common denominator here? Batting average. He batted 199 and hit 38 home runs. So let's just do the math. So he had 99 hits. Out of those 99 hits, 38 of them left the ballpark, which means that he had, a little under 60, a little over 60 hits for the rest of the season?
100, what do you say, 152 games?
In 153 games?
That's crazy.
So, you damn right you should be a fucking pitcher. Uh-huh. This ain't working for you, bro. You got a career batting average in 10 seasons of 194.
Pretty bad.
Can you find another guy that's played this much that's had a batting average that bad?
Not for total career. I can't even, it's, hard enough, I feel like, to even get that per year. You have to be, awful.
Yeah.
To hit under 200, especially, a few ticks under it, so.
He played 2 years for the New York Yankees. Silent assassin. The man had a 159 batting average.
At Yankee Stadium.
At Yankee Stadium. As a left-handed bat. He went to Minnesota. Played one season there. He batted 177. He then went to Washington last year. Played 76 games, hit 10 home runs and 27 RBIs, and batted 161. So out of the 36 hits that he had, 10 left the park, which means that you only had 26 extra hits.
That's wild. Even like on the batting average, add like 100 onto that. Like 260, like that's just like okay as like a regular baseball.
Yeah,
player.
I mean that's 260 at this era of baseball. That's like the new 300.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So to even be 100 points like lower than that, it is crazy.
You have the Mendoza line, and he's well below it.
Yeah.
So yeah, go pitch. This is done. No one's gonna fucking remember you. No one's gonna care. No one's even going to remember that you are actually a hitter at any point of your life. Because this is nasty work. For you to be this good in regards to like power-wise and never learn how to really hit a baseball, how'd you get this far? That's what kills me, is that all they saw was the power. Nobody came to this kid and said, yo, my man, you need to learn how to hit. Like, here, I'm going to put the glove by third base. Hit the ball there, please. Let's just take little choppers and see if you can be able to hit the ball in that direction. Because for what it seems like, it seems like Joey Gallo for his entire major league hitting career guessed at the plate. This doesn't look like somebody that knew what they were doing.
Just swinging and see what happens.
Just swinging and see exactly what happens. So yeah, go pitch and see how that works, because if it's a way to continue to stay into the league, be relevant, kind of revamp your career, yeah. But it's crazy when you go ahead and look at the stats to see how obnoxious it was. Like, I can understand why nobody, like, I can't understand why a guy like Alex Verdugo didn't get signed for this whole time, right? That's a guy that has defense, had a little down year with the Yankees, but he's still a good player. I can understand why Joey Gallo doesn't get signed by anyone. I can understand that. That makes all the sense in the world for me. You batted 161 with the Nationals. You would have all the opportunity in the world to play. They don't care because they're a bad team. So you out there you couldn't even figure it out there.
Yeah. It's also like why, like, also it's not easy to hit that low, but also too, he's hit over 200 home runs, which is not a lot of people do that.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
For you to barely hit the ball and still crack over 200 home runs in your career, like, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, just like it's like contradicting.
Yeah. So it's like when you did make contact, the ball left the ballpark. It's pretty amazing. It's just not enough to keep him around the league as a hitter. So yeah, shouts to Joey Gallo for making that decision and being smart. The fact that he's a 2-time All-Star and won 2 Gold Gloves is nasty work. Like, I don't understand. Baseball has they gotta make me try to understand the Gold Glove system, because how do these people just make Gold Gloves nowadays? You need to be eligible. You need to play a certain amount of games and have a certain amount of something to be able to be eligible. This is nasty. For you to be this bad and then have 2 Gold Gloves? How many Gold Gloves Frankie got? 2?
Yeah, when it was the Indians, so it was a long time.
Let me see. Hold on. Now I gotta look it up. Now I gotta look this up.
He was early on in his career.
This is crazy. Joey Gallo got the same amount of Gold Gloves as Frankie? That's nasty work. Yes. He got 2. That's crazy. Yeah, come on, man. He's a four-time All-Star. Joey Gallo, 2-time All. What year was he an All-Star? I laid the stats out. The man never had 140 hits a day in his life. It's crazy.
It was just like had to be added on in 2019 and 21.
Who, for Gallo?
Yeah.
2019 was that was a short year. And then 2021, how? So he had a WAR. He had the highest WAR of his career. He batted 199. How are you an all-star?
He must have had a crazy first half.
That's I need to see the splits. I need to find that because we'll come back to that at maybe another show. But this is nasty. So yeah, go do something else. Now it's time for the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week.
Dummy, yeah.
Every week I go around the room and I ask who is the Dummy of the Week. Silent Assassin, do you have one?
I was seeing there's like a mini little TikTok series. I forget the shop's name, but it's like a sneaker store that they're always like posting reels and stuff on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And this mother had come in with her son in a wheelchair and saying like, oh, like he just come out of the hospital, he has to go to rehab to whatever illness he's dealing with. And so she's like, do you think you could give us a deal? Like, you know, he loves your, you know, videos and whatnot. And the guy behind the counter, she's like, you know, I can't offer discounts because it's a shoe reselling store. So like once they have their price listed, it is what it is. She's like, but you know, he loves you guys so much, you can't like give him free shoes. And the guy's like, I would love to, but it's just not the way we work. And then the woman has like, well, can you call the boss? And the guy's like, I barely even talk to the boss because he's just like a, you know, just the guy that owns the store, doesn't really interact with the actual business, and it's like in person. She's like, well, you can't give him anything. And he's like, well, I can give him like a free shirt, like a merch shirt. Like that's the best I could do. And this kept going on. It was like a 5-6 part series of TikTok videos. And then he goes up to the kid. He's like, hey man, like, you know, I appreciate your, you know, giving us support and whatnot. Here's a shirt, the free merch shirt. He's like, oh, well, I don't really love the shirt. The kid even said no to the free shirt. And the mom is like, she's like, you can't do anything else for us. And then, you know, then there were some comments saying like, oh, it's these type of people based on their appearance. They were, seemed to be Jewish. So then there was like comments going toward that. I wasn't about that, but that was just what they were saying.
Dummy, yeah.
But I was just like, this lady is going to the shop and like demanding a discount when it's like, you can't go to like stores and like, unless they have something offering, okay, cool, but you're just like, oh, give me a free pair of shoes. Like, go to Walmart, go to Target, be like, oh, give me this shirt because my son has something going on. Like, help him out. So it's just crazy.
That's a great story, and thank you for sharing that. You know what's nasty about that entire story is that, yo, if anybody can be able to go into that store and buy something full price, it would be... I'm just saying, like, you know, I want to keep my channel, so I'm just going to leave it there. I could say more, but I won't. Mm-hmm. There's a story that I have at my job. This lady came in there, and she was acting about the same. And I saw my boss getting visibly more angry as she kept opening her mouth and asking for more free stuff and discounts. And it's just like the level of brazenness that you have to be able to walk into somebody's establishment that they wake up every day, turn on those lights, they have to check their books, they have to make sure that they're making payroll, they have to make sure that they're actually operating in the green instead of the red, and you mosey your ass in there and say that you want a discount or some free shit. Like, this is why I don't think I have my own business, like a store, because I don't possess the business acumen to be able to look somebody in the face and try to negotiate my prices with you. I would tell you to go fly a kite on a windy cliff and make sure you take that wheelchair with you. And you make sure that, you know what? Moving on. That's a good one. I couldn't really find a dummy. I didn't want to air anybody out this week. But I do have one. May I have the drum roll, please? And the winner for Dummy of the Week, it's me. I am the
dummy. Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I'm tired of being the old guy in the house. I've been dubbed this old guy, and I don't like the moniker, right? So I give you an example. I've been trying to watch the new Captain America movie for the last week. Listen to what I'm saying to you. One movie for the last week. Because every time I put the movie on, say, yeah, I'm gonna watch it, I fall asleep. So I'm literally watching this damn movie in stages. Who does that? Like, what happened to me? I used to be somebody who could be able to stay up until like 4 o'clock in the morning, go partying, drink, party, do whatever the hell you want to do, come home, change your clothes, and go back to work. Like, what? When did this change? I don't get it. Yo, once 9:30 hits, it's a wrap for me. I don't like this, man. Like, if this is how 40 is gonna feel, I need to do something. I need to take some steroids or something to get back to whatever I was. This ain't cool, man. This ain't cool. I can't watch nothing. Mm-hmm. I try to put on Love is Blind, can't watch it. Can't watch nothing. You know when you have your significant other date and they want to spend time with you, and then after a while, you know, you're sitting there watching, and then I just get quiet, right? We having a conversation, I get quiet, and then she looks over, and I got the heroin lean like the guy that's in the White Castle, like that, and she has this disappointing look on her face, like she's not mad, but she's just like, yo, you are washed, bro. That's a terrible feeling for me. So for me, like, when I feel like that, I gotta try to redeem myself, right? I gotta redeem myself. So I gotta try to take coffee, do other stuff. Now I gotta go show out. Now I gotta go show out for the next couple of days, right? I gotta make her realize that I don't play around. But for right now, yeah, I am the dummy. I am, because I need to figure out how to get back to being a normal person. If this is what 40 is gonna feel like, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't accept it. I don't want to be there. I used to play basketball, right? I used to be active. There's a time where I got on the court, and I used to be the dude that used to shoot and make layups. The dudes used to tell me, yo, we want to go at him. Let him shoot. That's where I'm at now. Am I the washed guy? What happened? Is it just because I'm doing this damn podcast? I need to get more active. That's why I gotta be outside. That's what's gonna happen. So once 40 hits, I'm outside. I'm activating it. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna be outside. I'm gonna make sure that I'm changing the narrative, because I don't like it right now. My fiance don't like it. She looked at me like I'm washed. I got the dad body. There's a lot of things that I don't like right now. So I'm the dummy. I gotta make it happen. I gotta change. So that is it. Do you have any kind words to say?
Hey, let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets. Good. I have a PSA. For those individuals that got escorted off the plane, all those individuals that have the same pigmentation as me, and that you heard it on the recording that they were removed because not of race, but because of their body odor bullshit. We're starting to see more and more and more indications that there's an assault on other people that are different from the status quo of what they want to see. What they want America to look like, there's an attack. You know, from those people that were just taken out of their jobs and homes and put onto a plane and sent somewhere that they've never been before. And we have no idea where they are exactly. And there's been court orders to have them come back. And you have people that are in office. You have presidents that are not listening to court orders. So if we don't listen to court orders, then what happens to the fabric of our democracy? If what the courts say is not law, if the people that put the laws in and they enforce the law, you don't listen to the law. But you have people in this country that vote for that type of chaos and believe that that's the way that things are supposed to be. So I'm sad because to say that I didn't see this coming, nah, I saw it coming. I just didn't realize that as a country and as a nation, we are this lost and we are this underdeveloped in regards to our literacy. We are the most illiterate country on planet Earth. Our civics, we don't know how our government works. People don't understand that they can go to their local constituents and complain and try to get things done in their communities. They don't do it. They realize that, or they have people make them believe that their vote doesn't matter. We have to change. We do. Also, too, shouts to Chris Bay. He's a wrestler. Got paralyzed a couple of months ago. He was on Chris Van Vliet's show. And he's walking, he's talking, he's using his arms. And at 29 years old, this guy has such a positive outlook on life that it makes you second guess all the things that you worry about in yours. You know, not being able to be to work on time, or having arguments with friends or family, or not knowing what you're gonna wear to this wedding and all of this bullshit. Oh, I have a pimple on my cheek. What's gonna happen? Like, this dude literally lost his career in the ring and has the most positive outlook on life because he said, yo, I could be dead. I'm happy, man. We need to end up having that type of mindset. Be happy. Instead of being somebody who lives in depression. And I understand that depression is a big thing in this country. And, if you need the help, if you need to be able to get the medication or whatever to help you, please go ahead and do so. But for people that just try to, or they just live in a state of sadness because they're not in the job that they want to be in, they're not with the person that they want to be with, they're not driving the car that they want to drive. Like, there's so much more to life, and there's so much more to living than having certain material things or having certain milestones in your life. Just enjoy life and just be grateful that you can be able to tell your significant others and the people that you love, and whoever that you love them, that you enjoy spending time with them, that you can be able to pick up the phone and call them and go hang out. Like, That's life. Enjoy that. Enjoy the time that you have here. We don't have much time on this planet when you actually think about the wide scope of your life, the timeline of events. Enjoy it. You don't know when your number's going to get called. So that's how I live my life nowadays. I'm not into being mad, not being upset about where I am or where I'm not, who supports me, who doesn't. If you don't support my show, then don't. If you don't like my takes and like my angles and stuff, then you don't have to watch. If you don't like my jokes, you don't have to watch. There's so many other things for you to watch, but for the people that will support, we'll continue to push on. I'll continue to push on and keep doing what I'm doing, and that's the same thing for everybody. Whatever field you want to go into, do not let anybody deter you from doing what you want to do. Doesn't matter if it's friends or family. You continue to be the beacon of light and be positive and know that there's a rainbow of riches on the other side at some point. So, yeah, that's it. I should play my theme song, but I'm not going to do that. Not this week. I told you. I'm going to save it when I have to. But I think it was a good show. There's good stuff on here. There was some soft, heartfelt messages. You know, I didn't go crazy on this show today, though. No. Normally I do. It's very reserved today. Mm-hmm. Shouts to everybody that's still here, that whoever is here. The audio will be posted sometime tomorrow. You can catch me on Instagram, @AllEvenPodcast. You can catch me on X, @AllEvenPodcast. TikTok, @AllEvenMedia. Facebook, if you're on there. I don't really check. Ooh, do people be on Facebook anymore?
I just check for like my local high school drama.
Yeah, you over here. You over here trying to get dirty. You nasty work. But yeah, I think we could probably be able to go live on Facebook. Maybe we'll try that at one point. So until next week, stay safe, stay cool.